what I was saying about the local transit. So I don't know what's worse, the people driving the buses, the people running the company, or to get on them. And I really thank the young man I met once who told me he would never use these buses in his life, ever. They're disgusting. And he's right. Disgusting human beings. It's a disgusting service. They can't preserve your safety. They can't preserve your comfort. Nothing going on here. These are nothing but glorified bullies. It's hard to believe that you think you're earning your paycheck behaving this way, that you have any shame, any sense of pride in what you're doing. It's a rat's nest of cultic disorders attending these local service-oriented professions. Service my ass, right? Service my ass. They're not serving anybody, not even themselves. There's nothing. They're just going through the motions of pretending to be bus drivers. They're very colorful. Okay? They're very colorful. They're ranger services. It's pretty scary to me. Hey, look, you might have let me watch something. It's amazing when I started complaining more, telling them about the things I hadn't complained about and how I would never use their services again. How they started to become more aggressive. Never any response, never written response, never an acknowledgement of any wrongdoing, nothing. Because they're so used to hiding behind that facade and the contributing human obedience. Nothing, no one, except people as bad as them, ask them to account for anything. I got some drivers suspended. I eventually said, I'm glad. It gives me pleasure. After a series of complaints, serious complaints, I woke up one day sick. Not with any particular disease. I went and laid in the sun a little bit for a while. I had a headache, extreme headache. I felt a weakness that you never want to feel in your body. That's because I was being cursed. That's the level of anger channeled, maybe coming from several drivers or staff, and magnified by the immune system as a cult run by the Illuminati. Right? Always ready to control and maximize the protection of those who are prerogative to meet at various times of socially acceptable violence. It's the tip of the iceberg to what kinds of people are in these towns. Look at the chemtrail up there. Right? They made me physically ill for half the day. That takes a lot of evil. It takes human beings. Right? Lesson learned. Right? That they can't do anything anymore. Right? It's a disease. And I've developed antibodies to it. It'll always scare me. When those buses go by me, I always try to make eye contact with the driver. I think to myself, go kill yourself. You're disgusting. They're fucking pedophiles. I don't know how many of them you can see, the way they interact with children, the way one driver looked me up and down like I was a piece of meat, the way he would only smile with young men come onto the bus. He'd crack his sort of grave smile. One thing gave him a little excitement in his life. Some old homo. They look like they're dead already. It's like, why are they even working still? You wonder. This guy basically decides not to give people certain rides. Right? Closes the door to them. It's incredible. We're coming up on the main home here. And there's a kitty corner. There's a female sexual predator who lives in the basement suite of this house. I'm basically gunning for her to be gone by the summer solstice. She sickens me. Absolutely. It's absolutely sickening. And yeah, I have to live in a town like this. Hey, if you're a male and you're by yourself, don't ever walk by her house. Hey, I've met a lot of women, young and old, and if you present yourself as prey into their place of work or near their house on any kind of regular basis, some older men as well, they'll start to molest you. Okay? They're like demons because they're hungry humans, they've just learned to indulge certain human mentalities and compulsions under the pretext of flirtation, uninhibited by alcohol, or by the company of other enemies. My mom did some shopping today. Out there. Done. I made a deal with myself that if I was permitting, I'm not going to walk down the boardwalk anymore. That was a boundary. Because I find myself increasingly sickened to the local population as I funnel myself down the boardwalk. It doesn't matter whether they look or anything. I hate being near them. They make me sick. I hate people that much. They make me sick. They literally make you sick. It's the worst part of my day. And I was in the back. That's it. Stop walking on the boardwalk. My spirit told me, stop walking on there. Just stop and go home and have a nice walk home, because I'm in my head. I'm in myself. I'm intimate with myself, my feelings, my emotional body. It doesn't matter how angry or bitter I am or not. It's what I need to be. It's a horrible indication of my total health. People think if they're angry, something's wrong. It's like, no, there's something right. There's much wrong with the environment. These logs up here, been here all winter. I met a man who works for Nature Trust. He went out into the estuary, started destroying plant text, came up to me and sexually molested me, then walked off like he was doing the world a favor, and basically indicating that I wasn't safe being there because he was part of the Nature Trust teacher, of course. They're all predators, all sexual predators. And he's carrying damaged plant material in his hands, right? Traipsing around. And I'm there actually conducting myself in an upstanding ceremony and being an honest human being. Okay. But the Nature Trust won't do fuck all about this. Right? They'll remove perfectly harmless plants. But despite how many old people who can't walk through here will call them, they won't remove this. Saw. They won't do it. Okay. I could call them. If I'm home early enough, I might. But they're essentially demons. They're not going to do anything that people want them to do that they don't want to do. Even if they're paid to do it. No matter how many tax dollars people spend. I've seen volunteers working for them children cut down perfectly healthy trees because somebody told them to, with glee, demonic glee on their faces, traipsing around the forest like they've never even learned to walk in the woods to begin with, but they know enough to know which trees to cut down. Right? Isn't even there. Right? But they won't cut trees that need to be cut. Not if any number of people complain. It's nobody's responsibility. But every spring, they'll come through here and cut the area once. For one day. They'll pay a group of men to do that. And when they do, they'll cut the trees. And you'll wait. Despite collecting millions and millions of dollars from the local population and all their property taxes. And it's no one's responsibility to make that happen. Right? It makes you sick, doesn't it? I can walk around there. Yeah, and there's a bird enthusiast who says, one day, she says, I might hurt myself. And maybe we'll do it. What's that? What do they call quail? Hi. There's the eagle up there. Or something. Could be a vulture. Hey. I'm done for the day. Tired. Made that pentagram look pretty good. Okay, guys. You make nice sounds. So to be near them, to have God on their buses at all, it's just beyond sick. You don't want to be around that. And it takes years sometimes to get over the shock of what you've been exposed to. I see a police car, I see a policeman, again, it makes me sick, it makes me ill in my blood. People that are in cults, cult leaders, same thing. People that are disingenuous, salesmen, they make me sick. It's amazing how many people's jobs comes with being disingenuous. I grew up with decent folks. My family are decent people. My dad was a salesman. He managed to conduct himself in a pretty decent manner while taking care of children and a woman he never knew, and raped by a man who would come to our house and have dinner, who was a public school teacher, who wanted to be a doctor and decided to start playing doctor with his sisters between the ages of 3 and 8 years old, all of whom sustained some considerable impact in that of their children. Right? But that fucker's never going to do a day in jail. Right? Isn't that something? He married someone who, when she was 15, was sexually molested by an RCMP officer in her school in broad daylight while she was at school. She never pressed charges, told anyone except my mom. She married a pedophile. Changes your life, doesn't it? Changes people's lives. People who touch people, especially when you're wearing a uniform. People who molest people. People who have been taught to trust you. These are the most despicable people, and they're always protected by cults. Okay? The shock of it, the shock of how little you can do, the shock of how little it means to complain about it. You know, makes you understand why people don't, why people want to do anything else but look at abnormal psychology and cult psychology, and how these towns are all ruled by the banks and royalty, all the churches, all the money they collect. What's it all going to? These mortgages, their property taxes. What does it all go to? The exorbitant price you pay for your gas, your vehicle, 1,000 times less efficient than it should. But they'll advertise fuel efficiency and savings at the pump while they're sucking you for all your worth and your hard-earned money. But you're more likely to get angry because I've misused your time by telling the truth. So I like coming home to my mom, a decent human being, wonderful female, a great mother, a stupendous human being who's not been afforded any kind of consideration by her teachers or her Sunday school teachers or her white female friends who would steal her property. Right? She couldn't trust any white female friend she's ever had, which is why none of them are her friends anymore. Right? The woman she chose to be my God logically deserted us. You can't trust any of them. Right? They're only out for themselves. Right? But there's a few decent ones. And they're usually are like my mom. They're both A negative. My father's O negative. Right? We still have problems, but our A's negative people are different. There's something more uplifting about them. Something more honest. In other words, my parents might not be like me, but all my life and all I'm able to do is because of the kind of people they are. They're better than most of these people. My dad knew that when he came to this country. My mom used to bug him. But my dad's had to get by in a world surrounded by sick people. He didn't acknowledge it in his way, but he knew he was better than most of the people. The boss that he worked for abused him. My dad built the entire business. Right? Because it's just being used. Asian family, right? Probably not RH negative. Ooh, it's actually nice out. Wow. Cool. I'm warm. Take the gas off. Did some work on my knee and it's better. So. Decent folks. I used to have a coffee shop with this guy. He's a demonic fat retired man. Pretending that you would insult my family. Same thing with other people I met, retired police officers, police commissioners, photographers. Right? No way for my name. They have no respect for me and my family at all. Just completely demonic human beings. Woo, ever making their acquaintance. I think the last few years is getting rid of many of them I can. This one officer's wife came up to me and molested me, and thankfully, I don't temper too much. I'm pretty sure they'll never come up to me again. And it's all for the better. My boundaries have been made a little clearer. I actually had some pretty nice cards today when I flipped. Oh, that should be good. Strange, I don't see so many police officers around anymore. Cowards. God, they don't have anything to fucking do in these towns. Jesus Christ. I love my home. I love coming home. I hate the people. Fucking the people. Fucking every one of them. Fucking Bible offices, parks, wreck people. Useless come-ons. Fucking people who hate the geese. Look at the geese over here. Beautiful. Nature Trust, they only want to talk about coloring them. Fat white women who talk about coloring these beautiful people because they think their poo is such an awful and dangerous thing, while their fucking septic fucking crap houses and their fucking treatment facilities are pouring effluent into the water every day. They're not too concerned about that, right? Their own feces is nothing compared to the crap of geese. Natural to the area than these people are in all of their bodies combined. And yet they call themselves environmentalists. This is the type of cult mentality you expect from white people and from an oppressive society. Hey, look at these beautiful birds, eh? There's a squirrel over here. Hi. Gorgeous human beings, right? They might as well be native people. They're so beautiful. Beautiful. I got my gloves today. Hey. I am so tired. A little blood sickened by the days. Going. I'm exhausted, but I think I didn't sleep as well. Feel that sun. Oh, look at that. The chemtrails included. We still got a little bit of sun. That's all we can do. Because there are beings who own this earth who don't want people to see the sun. They hate the sun. There's beautiful places in the world. Humans have an extremely varied and conflicting idea of what is net, of what is lawful, of what is loving, right? And what should attend to constitute what we call living, rights, needs, the emotional body, human instincts. These are a legitimate, competent grasp of most educated white people, and in particular the people who come down here. So I'm gonna not spend too much time down here. But AR, so it's